The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Sean Smoke and Kevin Price. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoke, licensed realtor with eXp Realty.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
And then there were none. Hello, everybody, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, and we've got a great show for you tonight. The semifinals of the state playoffs saw the 912 go from 2 teams down to 0. Both the Appleton County Pirates in AA and the Coffee High Trojans in 5A lost in their semifinal games, leaving the 912 with no teams competing for a state title. Kevin and I will take a look back at these 2 losses and preview all 8 of the state championship games set to be played in Mercedes-Benz on Monday the 16th, Tuesday the 17th, and Wednesday the 18th. Mark your calendars for Thursday, December the 19th, as we'll bring you the 5th annual 912 Sports Football Award Show. The show will be available on demand at noon on Thursday, December the 19th. Tell your friends, share the link, or host a watch party, but make sure you tune in to the 5th annual 912 Sports Football Award Show. We'll have all this and more right after these messages. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Welcome, sports fans, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Sean Smoke, publisher of 912 Sports, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how you doing?
Good, Sean. Good to be here talking high school football. We're down to the state championship games, and whether they hold those on the weekend or during the week like they're going to this year, it's always a showcase for high school football here in the state of Georgia, some of the best in the country. Unfortunately, a couple of our teams that were still in the running fell short, so we won't have any 912 coverage area teams in the finals, but still looking forward to it. Still a big couple of 3 days there, and should be fun as always.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week is when the championship games are going to be played, Kevin. And again, getting away from that Friday, Saturday format that we've had the last several years. So last year they did this 3 day thing, and I think it all ties back into the bins and when it's available and giving these kids a chance to play in that venue, which I think is great. So whenever, listen, if your team's in it, you're going to be tuned in regardless of what day it is. So let's jump right into it, Kevin. Let's talk about the two teams that bailed out from the 912 coverage area. We'll start off with Appleton. Appleton had the tough task of going over and playing Carver Columbus. Kevin, I'm not afraid to say it. I think Carver Columbus might be one of the best teams from 4A down. I don't know if they can compete with Milton and the Carrolltons of the world, and they might have some trouble with the North Oconeys and the Marises as well. But I'm telling you, man, this team is solid from top to bottom. They beat Pierce County a couple weeks ago. Appleton found out just how difficult a team this is, and final score wound up being 49-6, and I don't think it was that close. So, just one of those things. They just run into a buzzsaw, and this is a very, very legitimate state title contender.
Yeah, I tell you what, really all you need to know about Carver Columbus, and this is compliments to Pierce and Appling. If you can beat Pierce and Appling in back-to-back weeks, I don't care if it's in a 7-on-7, a padded camp, the regular season, or the playoffs, you're doing something right. And this team is loaded with athletes on both sides of the football. I mean, the score against Pierce, stood out to me. I was like, oh, we might be on to something here with Carver Columbus, unfortunately for Appling coming up next. But I know Pierce played that game shorthanded. I was hoping that Appling would be a little bit better matchup for them in terms of man-to-man on both sides of the football. But obviously this team really, really good. I mean, you beat Appling County 49-6. You're really, really good. They held Appling to less than 55 yards, I believe. Appling also turned it over 3 times. I think a safety was scored by the Tigers in the ball game. So I fully expect that they could be on the doors of a state championship, which we'll talk about here coming up in segment 2.
Yeah, solid team there. And the next team that was still alive in the 912 was the Coffee High Trojans. They had to travel up to take on Langston Hughes. And Kevin, we knew this was going to be a tough task for Coffee. Langston Hughes beat Thomas County Central the week previous. Thomas County Central had beat Coffee earlier in the year, but Coffee was coming off that huge game where they put up 72 points against Sequoia, but it just didn't come together for the Coffee High Trojans. They played a valiant game. Tyrese Woodgate had another huge night, 250 yards rushing again. But Langston Hughes just too much offense. Langston Hughes wins that game 49-26, and Coffee had kind of hung their hat on defense all year long. Last couple of weeks, Kevin, give up some big numbers, even though they were able to put up big numbers against Sequoia. Just didn't work out that way against Langston Hughes, who's got a really, really tough defense.
Yeah, you kind of stole my thunder there, Sean. I mean, last year, which is fine, but last year, obviously, Coffee real good on both sides of the football, physical, strong running game, really, really good on defense. When you look at the playoffs, particularly the last 2 weeks, maybe they weren't as strong on defense overall, as they were. Still good players on the front end, certainly at linebacker, some good guys in the safety spots that we'll highlight later on down the road as well. But overall, maybe not as good defensively. I think that showed a little bit the last couple of weeks. But the thing is, the Coffee offense really got going. They got healthy. The Woodgate kid had a monster finish to his season. As you know, ran for the 605 yards, just 2 weeks ago in the quarterfinals, had 250 in this game on 50 carries. He was pretty much their offense. But, just like that Carver Columbus team, athletes all over the place for Hughes. Obviously, they're about to run into a buzzsaw in the state championship game. They may be overmatched. That just came out, Sean. I know we've kind of joked about that with Coffee, but not necessarily overmatched here. But obviously, just Hughes too strong on both sides of the ball. And Sean, I hate to say it, but we talked about this a little bit with Camden's run last year to the semifinals. Obviously, Coffee got it done, a year ago in a state championship game. Made it to the semifinals here this year, but obviously 2 Atlanta metro area teams playing for the state championship in the second largest class, also in the largest class. It's just going to be extremely difficult going forward for teams in South Georgia. As good as that region is that Coffee's in, we saw what happened to Lee against Milton. I mean, they're up against some monsters out of that metro Atlanta area, and I don't know what you do other than out-recruit them, and that's even hard to do. So it's going to be tougher and tougher. That's a whole different show. I don't want to get too bogged down in that, but obviously a great run by the Trojans overall.
No 912 teams left going to the Dome, but we're going to take a break and come back and talk about the 8 games that are going to be played in the Benz next week. And we'll be right back after these messages. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Sean Smoke. He's Kevin Price, and we're talking about the state championship games to be held Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 16th, 17th, and 18th at the Mercedes-Benz Arena there in Atlanta. So we'll get right into it. Kevin, first game up we're going to talk about is the private championship. What we did is, or what GHSA did is moved all the teams that were 3 through 1 and put them, if you're a private school, pulled them out and made them play their own championship. I think this is a great idea because, listen, these smaller schools had no chance going against some of these big private schools, but you're going to have Hebron Christian's going to take on Prince Avenue. Prince Avenue, I think, is the defending state champ. They've won it the last couple of years. They come off a big win, 43-0 over North Cobb. And then Hebron Christian had a lot closer game, taking on Fellowship Christian 24-17. So we'll see who gets it done on this game is on Wednesday at 1 p.m.
Yeah, and Hebron's playing in their first state championship game. Obviously, it's going to be exciting for their little school, their private school. Prince Avenue Christian, this is old hat for them. I mean, they'll know the routine. They've got an experienced ball club, experienced coaching staff. I think that's probably going to pay off for them in this ball game.
Yeah, the one thing that Hebron's got going for them, they do have Jonathan Geis as their head coach. He won at Elka. I think he had 5 state championships at Elka. So he's been there, done that before. We'll see if he can transfer that on to his kids. But next game up, we got a Southern school in, Kevin. We got Brooks at Bowden, Single A Division II. This game's going to be played Monday the 16th at 4 p.m. And if Bowden wins this game, Kevin, they will have beat Clinch, Irwin, and Brooks. They basically beat the best division in I think in Single A Division II. Brooks got by Manchester on a late field goal, won that game 17-14, and then I think Bowden rolled, but should be a good game there in Single A Division II.
Yeah, Bowden going for their 3rd state championship in a row. I think they could be the 14th school all time to do that, so that will put them in rare company there. Obviously, they've done a great job here in recent years. They're back in the final again. Like you said, they ran through a South Georgia bracket with some of our finest small schools out there. This team that they're playing, though, Brooks, they're still bringing that hammer. 1 year removed from Coach Freeman. I know he's proud of what they've done, and this is going to be a heck of a challenge right here for both ball clubs. I'm looking forward to this one. Probably a physical football game.
Yeah, great matchup there. And then moving on to Single A Division I, this game is going to be played Tuesday the 17th at 1 p.m. This is going to be Northeast at Toombs. And Kevin, a couple of weeks ago, if you'd have told me this game was going to be played, I'd have picked Toombs and said, hey, listen, man, ain't nobody got a chance. Toombs is a great football team. I picked them back at the beginning of the year to win this classification. They come off a big win over Dublin, 42-15. But hold up just a minute. The little startup school out of Macon, they're not a startup school, but I mean, Macon hasn't been to a championship, and I don't know how many 20-plus years or whatever it is. these dudes can score, Kevin. This may turn into a shootout here. The scoreboard keeper better have his right hand ready because he's going to be putting a lot of points on the board.
Well, yeah, so I can answer that question for you. Macon School has not been to a final since 1975. So this Northeast Macon team will do that. They're loaded athletes on both sides of the football, a lot of talent there. Obviously, though, this Toombs team has been on a mission since day one. A lot of people thought they would be in this spot, that this might be their state championship to win. They lost to Savannah Christian in the regular season. A lot of us thought the Savannah Christian would be in that private school final, but they're not. But that team was loaded with talent, and the game that got my attention was when Toombs went on the road and beat a really good Rome team in the second largest classification in the state. And Rome is solid, a perennial power. I think Toombs gets it done, but not without a big challenge from this Northeast team that's athletic and certainly will present problems for them on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I'm kind of looking forward to that one as well. Next up is the AA state championship. You've got Burke going to be taking on Carver of Columbus, and this game's going to be played Tuesday the 17th at 4 p.m. Oh, I'm sorry, this game. Yeah, that's right. Tuesday the 17th at 4 p.m. But Carver Columbus, we kind of talked about them a little bit, Kevin. They've already beat Pierce. They've already beat Appleton. Burke County coming off a good win this past week. They're averaging, good points in the playoffs. Franklin Steve, he'll have his team ready, but he hasn't run into anything like he's fixing to play, when this game gets kicked off there on Tuesday. I mean, these guys are loaded. I mean, I'm not so sure the rest of 2A couldn't make an all-star team and beat this bunch out of Carver Columbus. Yeah,
they're really good. Carver is. We've already talked about that. I mean, athletes on both sides of the football, again, in case somebody didn't see the first segment. If you beat Pearson Appling in back-to-back weeks, two of our finest teams down here in Southeast Georgia, that tells me something. You're really good, and they beat them pretty soundly, too, as well. But I tell you what, when you talk about experience, get the team ready to play a big football game, that's Franklin Stevens. Obviously, he's been through this before, learned how to coach, I guess you could say, under Jeff Herron, one of the best in the business, down there at Camden when he was a defensive coordinator. He's won at Tucker. He's won at Lamar. He's won here now at Burke in just his second season there, I guess. And, of course, he was at McEachern previously. But this is a guy who knows how to go through the brackets in the state championship format. He'll have Burke County ready. I know they're excited and ready to go. But, again, he's going to have to coach his fanny off to stop this Carver Columbus team.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order for them there. Next up is going to be the 3A state championship. We got Calhoun at Jefferson. This game is going to be played Wednesday the 18th at 4 p.m. Calhoun, like I said, a very, very good team. Let's see, Jefferson comes in. Jefferson, did they play for it last year? I don't think they won it, but they played for it last year. Calhoun's one of those teams, Kevin, that was up in 5A just a few years ago, and now here they are playing for the 3A state title. So they're a bigger school that kind of got moved down with the reclassification. But we'll see who can get it done for in 3A.
Yeah, these are two perennial powers. Obviously, Calhoun has been this far in the playoffs many, many times. Used to run into Buford and such all the time. Played Peach County in a controversial game not all that long ago. Of course, a new staff there. But again, their head coach learned under Hal Lamb, one of the best coaches all time in the state. But they've got a freshman quarterback at Calhoun, but he's done a well of a job offensively. They can score some points. But again, Jefferson, real solid football team. This ought to be a great, great matchup.
Yep. All right, moving on to 4A. You got the North Oconee Titans going to be playing Marist. And, Kevin, this is another game that I've kind of changed my opinion on. I thought Marist was by far the biggest, the biggest threat to win 4A. I thought they were the class of that classification. But after seeing this North Oconee team in person and watching them over the last couple of weeks, this is a very, very talented football team. I was kind of surprised that Marist struggled like they did last week. They were able to beat Creekside 27-21, but didn't really control that game. Just kind of got away with a win. But this is a battle of the undefeated. You got a 14-0 North Oconee team against a 14-0 Marist team. And like I said, I kind of like North Oconee in this game. It's going to be played on Monday, the 16th at 7 p.m.
Well, this is North Oconee's first final. Obviously, they've been, going deep in the state playoffs the last few years. So here they are with a chance to get it done. But guess what? They've got to run through one of the best programs in the state year in and year out in Marist. I know it wasn't a pretty victory last week against Creekside, another athletic team, but they did get it done in a close ball game. Alan Chadwick, the second all-time winningest coach in the state of Georgia in his 40th year. So obviously he knows what he's doing. And again, they can take that ball and they can keep it away from you with that option offense. And North Oconee is going to have to capitalize on their offensive chances because they may not get a whole lot. But again, I'm looking forward to seeing if North Oconee can step up in their first final and beat this perennial power in Marist.
Yeah, we'll see which who comes out on top. But next to the last game up, we've got our 5A state championship. This game is going to be played Tuesday the 17th at 7 p.m. And now you get into the big boys. And Kevin, we talked about what a solid high school team, maybe even a great high school football team that Langston Hughes is. The only problem is, son, they got to play a pro team in Milton. I mean, these cats are loaded, undefeated on the season, defending 7A champion, 18 to 22 starters returning. This team is loaded to the hilt. They beat Lee. I forget what the final score was, but they could have beat them by whatever they wanted to. I mean, just a really, really just D1 talent all over the field. And I don't care what classification you put Milton in, you're not the second-ranked team in the nation because you don't know what you're doing. I mean, these guys are really, really good, and Langston Hughes is going to be up against it trying to win this state championship on Tuesday.
Yeah, well, obviously Milton, not only one of the best teams in the state, like we mentioned last week, one of the best teams in the country. They are ranked as high as second in one of the national polls, and there's a bunch of national polls out there, but I think they're a consensus, top 10, top 15 team for sure. But obviously, Hughes is really good. They've been, going deep in the playoffs the last couple of years, not too far removed from a state championship. I think in 2022, this Milton team, you mentioned it, won Class 7A last year when we had 7 classes. As soon as everybody saw them in this second largest class this year, everybody was like, woo, this might be their state championship to win. And here they are, a chance to win their third title in 7 seasons. And like I say, their second straight. They beat Lee County after a 28-28 score. They ran away from them starting at the end of the first half and on throughout the second half. You mentioned that D1 talent across the place. I think 9 or 10 starters going to the ACC and the SEC, two premier Power 4 conferences. The quarterback's a big-time commit. The receiver, the Wiley kid, is going to UGA, might be the best receiver in the state, certainly one of the best in the country. This has been their state title to win, Sean, all year. We'll see if Milton gets it done.
Yeah, look for them to be hoisting the cup there Tuesday after that game gets complete there. But last game up, we've got the 6A state title game. We've got Carrollton at Grayson. Grayson with a great comeback last week, Kevin. And Grayson was trailing Douglas County. Matter of fact, I thought Douglas County was going to win that game, and then I go back to it, and I find out Grayson has some way powered their way back and came away with a 35-28 win. Carrollton goes into Buford now at Buford's house and beats the Wolves. The University of Buford goes down to Juju and the Carrollton guys there. But listen, Carrollton's very, very talented. They can score a lot of points. But Grayson, man, there's some cardiac kids over there. Never say die. I think this is going to be a really, really good football game. Going to be played Wednesday at 7 p.m. there in the Benz.
Yeah, Grayson has changed coaches, for several years now. Adam Carter won a state championship there. Jeff Herron won a state championship there. Here's this coach coming in, the last couple of years with a chance to win a state championship. They just churn out talent and great teams year after year. Kind of seems like it doesn't matter who's coaching them, but obviously they've had some great coaches. They were in a dogfight last week against a really athletic Douglas team. Had to come from way down to win it. Obviously, you look at this Carrollton team. When you go into Buford to win, I don't care, again, if it's a 7-on-7 in the summer or a padded game or a regular season game or certainly a playoff game, that says something. But Juju Lewis, one of the premier quarterbacks in the country. I know Dion licking his chops to get a hold of him up there in Colorado if he stays, next year. And, of course, he was committed at one time to USC. But I think Lewis is the difference in this ball game, Sean. I think Carrollton wins the state championship.
Yeah, like I said, we'll see who gets it done on Wednesday. But that's going to wrap up the 8 games going to be played in the Benz Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Y'all stick around. We're going to come back and talk about the 5th annual 912 Sports Football Awards Banquet. It's going to be on demand Thursday after the state championships wrap up. That's 12/19. We're going to give you a little bit of preview to that, so stick around. We'll be right back after these messages. You're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Sean Spoke. He's Kevin Price. And coming up this Thursday, the 19th, we're going to have our 5th annual 912 Sports Football Award Show. Kevin, really looking forward to this. Going to give out some hardware to some very deserving student athletes. We're going to give out our Big Six Awards. That's our Big Six Awards for all of the 912 coverage area. Then we're going to name our postseason all 912 team. We had a preseason team. Now we'll have a postseason team. And then we'll get to the offensive and defensive player for each one of the teams here in the 912 coverage area. Really exciting night. Looking forward to giving out some hardware and making some mamas smile.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and obviously when you get into those awards and the team, I mean, some difficult choices for our staff to make, but that's just compliments to our coaches and our players down here in our 912 coverage area. I mean, with a lot of good teams in this area here in Southeast Georgia, and it's always difficult to pick those six and also, the team. I mean, especially at certain positions. I mean, we might be loaded with running backs one year, wide receivers one year, or DBs, and sometimes all of those things in one year. So it's kind of hard to narrow that down. And then same thing with the Big Six Awards, and those are like the Player of the Year, the Offensive Player of the Year, Defense Player of the Year, all that kind of good stuff. And I tell you what, Sean, I mean, each region does things. Of course, there's state awards, but when you've won one of those awards from our Southeast Georgia coverage area, again, I think it's pretty special, because whether we give those to kids from a large school or a small school, I mean, they're up against some great competition just in this region, this district, whatever you want to call it, alone. And to be the Offensive Player of the Year or the Defensive Player of the Year, I mean, that says something. And again, some tough choices for us to make. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. You and I will be doing that show, and it's always fun for sure, but it's sort of always bittersweet as well, because it's going to be our last time really talking about high school football from the top of the show to the bottom of the show until we get into, next season. But so it's bittersweet from that area. But then again, football is near and dear to our heart, and it's the same thing in the communities that we cover. So we're never too far away from football. I mean, there's recruiting, there's spring practice, there's all the summer stuff. So, we'll still be talking high school football year round. But again, that's a special night, and we'll celebrate another good season here in the 912.
Exactly. And don't forget about silly season, because it's about to start. We'll see what coach goes where, and if we stay, put and everybody stays the same. And you know how that time of the year is. So we'll see. You're already starting to hear rumbles of this and that and the other thing. So we'll see what shakes out. But Thursday night's going to be fantastic. The great thing is it's going to be on demand starting Thursday the 19th at noon. You can watch it whenever, get your family together, tell your aunts, your uncles, send them the link and watch the show. So like I said, going to give out a lot of hardware and going to make a lot of moms smile and a lot of kids happy, because Kevin, you know as well as I do, a lot of these kids look forward to these awards. They're proud of these awards. When they win one of these, they kind of can, poke their chest out and say, hey, look, man, I did X or I did Y. So really looking forward to Thursday and, getting these awards out there.
Yeah, and the thing is, whether you make the 912 postseason team or win one of these awards, you can put it on your resume in terms of your athletic accomplishments, and that helps as far as entrance into college, whether you're going to play sports or not. And it stands out, on your resume, on your bio, on the team's website. When you get there, when they punch you in and put your little headshot up there and put your past accomplishments up there, you can put that on there as well. So again, I would like to think most of our guys around here are team guys, and certainly some of our better players are that. But obviously they're real great individually, and they get it done and lead their teams. And again, a lot of great players down here in Southeast Georgia, and you'll see that, I think, on the show, just like you'll see at those state championship games at Georgia high school football, some of the finest in the country.
So tune in Thursday the 19th, anytime afternoon, to watch on demand the 5th annual 912 Sports Football Award Show. We appreciate you watching On Air. We'll be back next week. Till then, may all your check marks go in the win column. Good night, everybody.
High schoolers, did you know that You can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College. Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal!
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.